It's time for the morning announcements. It's time with the North Street crew. It's time for the morning announcements. It's time coming right to you.
Good morning, North Street School. Today is June 18th, 2021. My name is Skylar. It is a day one. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The vision for North Street School is to prepare students for today and tomorrow by creating more hands-on learning experiences. By respecting others' differences, we can create a better school and community for all people. Today for lunch, we have a choice of pepperoni pizza, garlic pizza, salad shaker with a roll, or peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Congratulations to our 5th grade dares essay winners.
Do you know what drugs and alcohol do to your body? Well, read my essay to find out what it does to you, and if you do drugs and alcohol, well, good luck. In my opinion, they should continue DARE because it teaches you a lot. It teaches you what to do in a risky situation. It teaches you what chemicals are in tobacco and what chemicals are in cigarettes. It teaches you what alcohol and drugs do to your brain. That's why I think they should continue DARE. If you smoke, well, I'm here to tell you some important facts about them. Cigarettes have chemicals in them like toilet cleaner and bleach. Over 400,000 people die from smoking, and over 50,000 people die from secondhand smoking in a year. Cigarettes have a very powerful substance called nicotine. What it does is tricks your brain into wanting more, which makes you buy more, and that can lead to lung cancer. Black stuff called tar builds up on your lungs and goes bad, and you also get bad teeth and bad breath. In the future, I want to become a plastic surgeon. If you want to become a doctor or a police officer, then don't do drugs. That leads to not being able to become a doctor, police, anything else. If someone bullies you into doing drugs, think fast and say no. These are all the important facts you need to know about drugs. Drugs are bad for you, and that's why I wrote this essay. DARE helps to persuade you not to do drugs. If someone asks you to do drugs, just say no.
DARE is a very important program for 5th graders going into middle school. The DARE program is a good program. I think schools should continue to offer it because it teaches you a lot of good life skills and lessons like how to be responsible and say no to bad things. How do you deal with stress? Stress can be caused by a lot of things. You could take out your stress in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of positive ways and a lot of negative ways. Here are some positive ways to deal with stress. I will go to a close friend or trusted adult and express my feelings. If I'm not comfortable with telling them, I will get a notebook and write my feelings in there. Another way is I will get headphones and listen to music and fall asleep to it. Now I'm going to tell you about the negative ways you can deal with your stress. I will take it out on other people and blame them for what's stressing me out. Another way is I will get really angry and destroy things. I learned that I should use the positive ways to deal with stress instead of the negative ways. I really want to have kids and be a doctor when I'm older. In order to do that, I have to be responsible and stable so I can take care of my kids and go to work and be able to do my job. Being a doctor and a mom at the same time is a big responsibility. Now that I'm growing up and until I'm ready to have kids, I have to avoid bad things like drugs, too much alcohol, and things I can abuse. This is what DARE is. It is a very good program. It teaches you a lot of valuable life lessons and things you need to know for middle school and high school, especially for the rest of your life.
This is how I feel about DARE. I like that Officer Grenier brought samples of what the stuff looked like so we could see it and so we don't do those bad things. I like that Officer Grenier answered questions and told us stories. One thing I learned is that alcohol slows down the brain and body and drugs are bad for you. The second thing I learned was that smoking causes heart disease and can dry your skin and cause wrinkles. The third thing I learned was that nicotine in cigarettes and chewing tobacco reduces the amount of blood that flows to the brain. The fourth thing I learned was that smokers have more colds and upper respiratory problems. I also learned to stay healthy and stay out of trouble. I learned that alcohol goes directly into the bloodstream and can damage every organ of your body. There are more than 200 known chemicals in cigarette smoke. The alcohol weakens the heart muscle and reduces the amount of blood pumped to and from the heart. I'm going to stay safe and make responsible choices, stay drug and violence free. I'm going to stay out of trouble, stay healthy, and go to work and take my mind off of things. There were many things I learned in DARE.
This year I participated in the DARE program with my class. DARE stands for Drug Awareness Resistance and Education. In this program, Officer Tapscott came to my class and taught us about many important topics. Some of these topics were bullying, peer pressure, and drugs. DARE taught me important information to help me live a long and healthy life. One definition of DARE is define, assess, respond, evaluate, which is referred to as the DARE decision-making process and can come in hand if you are ever being bullied. Describe means you describe the problem. Assess means you think about your choices. Respond means you pick your choice. Evaluate means to follow through and reflect about your choice. This is an important process to follow if you are getting bullied, because it teaches you what to do and gives you steps to follow to help think through and solve a situation. Let's say you're getting bullied. You should stop and think of what you are doing and how you are doing. How are you going to respond when you are responding to a bullying situation? You should stop and think about the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. The 5 W's refers to who is bullying you, what are they doing to bully you, where is it happening, when is it happening, and why is it happening. Reporting this to a trusted adult is a good idea if you want help solving the situation. Another very important subject we learn about peer pressure is peer pressure. Peer pressure is when someone your age tries to make you do something. Here are some ways to avoid peer pressure. You can avoid places where you know people do drugs, and you can hang out with people who do not use drugs. You can try to walk away from these people who try to peer pressure you. You can say no, or you can give excuses and try changing the subject. These are some strategies to keep people like you and me safe. Peer pressure is a very bad thing which can lead to stress. Stress is also a very bad thing. Some signs of stress are when you feel angry, frustrated over something. There are common feelings in the subject of stress. These are common feelings in the subject of stress. You might also feel depressed and very sad. You might also start to act differently. At this point, you should try to avoid the people who make you feel stressed. These are some ways to tell when you are stressed, and some things I learned about peer pressure. Another main subject I learned about in DARE is drugs and alcohol. Drugs are very bad things, and you should try to avoid them. Drugs are any substance other than food that affects the way the body and mind works. For example, nicotine in cigarettes and chewing tobacco reduces the amount of blood that flows to the brain, which interferes with the way the brain works. Smoking can also cause yellow teeth and bad breath. We learned in DARE almost 50,000 deaths per year can be attributed to smoking. These are some of the negative effects of smoking. You should also try to avoid drinking alcohol and keep your distance from people who abuse drinking alcohol. It is very unhealthy. There are even more health risks to teens who drink alcohol. Because they are still growing, alcohol affects teens more severely than adults. Alcohol is illegal for anyone under the age of 21. Did you know there are 75,000 related alcohol deaths each year in the U.S.? Also, alcohol weakens the heart muscle and reduces the amount of blood pumped. These are reasons you should quit or avoid doing drugs and alcohol. I learned many important things in there that will help me live a long and healthy life.
Hey, what's up? Have you ever thought that if you do drugs that you will be cool because all the cool kids do them and they seem to fit in? Well, guess what? It's not cool to do drugs, and you don't need to do drugs to be cool or fit in. It's like trying to get a new pair of sneakers that everybody has, but they might be too big or too small. You try to fit in them, it might hurt you or cause an injury to you in the future, but you don't know that, so you still do it because everybody else does. Did you know if you do a drug, it can affect your health in many ways? Wow, you might think, because you didn't know that it can affect your health. You might wonder to yourself, how can it affect your health in a bad way? So now I'm going to tell you about tobacco and the way that it can affect your health. Did you know that when you do the drug tobacco, it can cause heart disease? Also, when you smoke tobacco, the nicotine in the cigarettes and chewing tobacco reduces this amount of blood flow that flows to your brain. This can interfere with the way your brain works. Smokers also have more colds and upper respiratory problems. Smoking tobacco can also cause lung cancer. You might have seen the videos of people who have lost their teeth and their face has been deformed from smoking. You might think some people are just really good at doing special effects with makeup to make their face look that way. Well, it's not. It doesn't have to do with makeup. It has to do with chewing tobacco. It can cause mouth cancer, teeth loss, and other health problems. I also just wanted to let you know there are more than 200 known harmful chemicals in cigarettes. You might find this scary, but interesting. More than 400,000 Americans die from tobacco-related causes each year. Did you just read what I said? Each year. I'm not talking about a decade or 8 years or 7 or 6 or 5, not even 4 years. Wow, just 1 year. This is crazy. And if you're like me and you think that it's crazy, you should hear about what alcohol does. Alcohol slows down the brain and your body. You might wonder exactly what does that mean. It means that you lose your coordination, which also means you might lose balance and fall. You might have poor judgment. You might have a bad hair day, and you might look mixed matched. I hope you don't have final exams because it can cause memory loss. Oh, and the loss of self-control. You might say something or do something stupid and get in a fight. You will have slow reflexes. Alcohol also weakens the heart muscle and reduces the amount of blood that's pumped to and from the heart. Too much alcohol slows down the body and can lead to coma and death. Alcohol goes directly into the bloodstream and can damage every organ of your body. You know how I was telling you that 400,000 people die from tobacco-related causes? Well, there are 75,000 alcohol-related deaths each year in the U.S. I only know how many deaths there are in the U.S., but just imagine how many deaths there are in the world because of people doing drugs. You heard me right. I said alcohol is a drug. You may not think it's a drug because adults that age 21 and older can drink alcohol, and remember, 21 and older. Teens' bodies are still growing, therefore alcohol affects them more severely than adults. You might think, now that I know how drugs can affect my health, how can I stay away from them when and if they are offered to me? So now I'm going to tell you resistance strategies that resistance strategies. The first one is avoiding the situation. You might not be able to, but you should try. The way that avoiding the situation works is if you know where places are where people often use drugs, stay away from those places. The second strategy is strengthen numbers, to hang around with non-users, especially where drug use is expected. The third one is walking away. I'm going to give you an example of the situation where you should walk away from. I found a cigarette in my mom's purse. Want to smoke? This is what you should say. What you should do in this situation. Say no, walk away. The fourth one is saying no while giving a reason or excuse on this one. I am also going to give you another example of a situation. Would you like a beer? No, thanks. My parents would ground me for life. The fifth and final one is called changing the subject on this. I'm also giving you an example on what to say. I have some cigarettes. Have one? No, let's play ball instead. With all the information that you just heard, do you still think you will be cool doing all those drugs? I bet not. I'm not telling you not to do drugs, but just remember what I just told you, what drugs can do to you and how you can stay away from them.
Congratulations to the following students who made it on the All-Star baseball team: Kamari, Tucker, Matthew, Angel, Bryce, Jacob, William, Dominic, Brandon, Danielle, and Dylan. Here is Mrs. Chen's class reading Brown Bear. Brown Bear, what do you see in Mandarin?
棕色的熊，棕色的熊，你看见什么？我看见一只红色的鸟在看我。红色的鸟，红色的鸟。
has other announcements for today. My name is Jamar. Make it a great day, North Street.
Who let the dogs out? 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 Who let the dogs out?
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand. Wax on, wax off. Breathe in through nose, out the mouth. Wax on, wax off. Don't forget to breathe. Very important. Wax on, wax off.